Welcome to the Grapevine, everybody.
Welcome to the Grapevine. We just goofing.
Just a couple of goofballs.
Yep. The coolest goofball.
I
Well,
called someone a nerd the other day, and he was like, "Did you call me a loser?" No, I didn't call you a loser. That's neat. So being a nerd is cool.
hey, being a nerd has like had a whole like turnaround.
Yeah.
Like my parents, like if you said you're a nerd, that was like something different. Like you was a loser.
Oh yeah. See, nerd used to mean
See,
cut deep.
Yeah.
Anyways, I think it's so much cooler when you're in the same room.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
Energy is just different. It's still a blast when we do it over Zoom. But anyways, let me move my phone. Oh, I'm going to start recording because last week we went a little long.
Yeah.
I'm going to start.
So I'm so glad everybody's been, hanging in there with us. And, we might have two listeners.
We making big moves.
Us too. But hey, if you
got the website, we got a YouTube channel.
Oh, yeah.
We've got a Facebook group or a page, whatever it is, one of those things. And the Spotify. Well,
and the Spotify
4 channels. That's 4 medias.
Making big moves.
We ain't making money, but we making moves. All right.
Hey.
It ain't money moves, it's moves.
Have you ever heard the term? You got to spend money to make money.
Yeah.
Even though
I done spent the money.
You done spent the money.
Where's my check, boy?
Hey, I'm gonna be honest. I don't know if we deserve a check. You know what I'm saying?
You deserve a check in my spirit, brother.
That's right. That's right.
What?
And you know what? The financial gain we might think we were going to get receiving, I think it'd be better if we got a spiritual gain. You know what I'm saying? More people up in heaven.
True. Yeah, this isn't, what do they call it? Prosperity preaching.
Yeah.
So all jokes aside, I keep talking about, well, even before that, we're not in it for the money.
No.
If I was, I'd have a gold chain on. I had a Rollie on. Of course, I do have an Apple Watch, so it's pretty cool.
That is. I got a mole on my
wrist.
Bro.
He just guesses what time it is.
Hey, I even got to know.
The sun is at
according to the 45-degree angle
when
we're looking at.
When the stars are out. Boy, there's Orion right there, and there's this belt. Looks pretty good, I might say.
Is that the panhandle?
So that's like 3 in the morning, like 7 p.m.
It's like, I think I better get to class. We're standing in the yard.
At 7 p.m.?
7:30 is when my class starts.
p.m.?
A.m. A.m. My bad.
See, I'm in a P.
With a P.
The p.m.
Oh, that's where
you in the a.m.
I start in the a.m. And I go to bed at the pum.
Yeah. No, nobody likes to get up in the a.m.
No, nobody likes to get up in the a.m. Nobody. Unless there's bacon frying, you know what I'm saying? You ever woke up and had bacon like that grease smell, and you're like, oh my goodness.
Yeah.
Normally it's I'm finna eat good.
You're just like,
whoa,
bacon?
Mom, I thought I was dreaming.
Good. It's like one of those good dreams. You actually wake up and it's just
look like that.
It's actually real.
You ever seen them cartoon characters where they like and like they follow the that's how I feel.
Yeah, that's me when there's bacon. Here, let me turn this towards you a little.
My mom makes some biscuits and chocolate pudding sometimes.
What?
Yeah.
Because you're in Arkansas.
No. I live on the border.
No, because chocolate pudding is a thing. No, I'm thinking of chocolate gravy. You have chocolate gravy
is what I'm trying to get. Yeah.
Yes. Nobody knows what chocolate gravy is here. They're like, what tarnation?
So my mom makes some good chocolate gravy.
Mm.
And if it's made, like I know, I'm like, and she only uses Hershey's. Ooh. Y'all listen out there.
Ingredient.
If you're making it,
hope y'all taking notes.
Y'all need to use the Hershey's, the OG. If you ain't used the OG Hershey, it's not worth it.
Yeah.
So
get out the way, Nestle.
That's right.
We about to roll up with my boy Wesley.
Hey! Speaking of rolling up, there was a tomb, brother.
Brother, I've never heard a better segue to roll into. Kind of like that stone rolled away from the tomb. Brother.
That's right.
All right. Chapter 27 of Matthew.
Chapter 27.
Were you still telling your story?
So what I was getting at is my mom makes some great chocolate gravy.
Okay.
If you ever get an opportunity to eat chocolate gravy, with biscuits.
Yeah.
Take
If
it.
somebody says, you want chocolate gravy with that? And you're like, I believe I do.
I think I heard Wesley on a podcast one day.
Yeah, the
Say that's
podcasters I
good.
listened to said to eat chocolate gravy. Yeah.
Try it out. Try something new.
Yes.
Yeah.
Just not illegal. Okay.
If it's
Don't
illegal,
smoke
don't do it.
crack. That may be new to you. Don't do it.
I think they talked about that in like elementary or something.
Yeah, like dare.
Something about drugs or don't do drugs or something like that.
Just don't do it. Damn
Yeah,
it.
don't do them.
Don't do that.
It'll get you on the wrong path.
Yeah, the wrong path.
Speaking of wrong paths, I think we're going to talk about that with Judas here in a little bit.
Dude, your segues, bro. Wow, I promise you, these aren't practice.
No.
Kind of like Judas practiced sin.
Yeah.
See, mine wasn't as good,
No.
but
It's okay.
So that's good though. So yeah. Anyways, yeah, we are going to talk about Judas tonight, and I started to draw some like parallels between Judas and Peter. How they kind of they made the same mistake. They both betrayed Jesus in a different way, and they both acted in a way that showed that they had regret about what they did.
Yeah.
Now, obviously, they both react in different ways.
Oh, for
So
sure.
we're going to get to that. So we did end. Now that I'm bringing that up, let's just read this last little part where Peter disowns Jesus. I'm just going to.
Yeah. I think we
Slam
should
through
totally
it.
jump right into it.
Yeah, since we started with that. So yeah, so we're going to be the last part of chapter 26 of Matthew. If you guys are following along, I'm just going to read. This is kind of like you watch a TV show. You're like, what is it? What did they do? Like, what is it called? Where it's like,
We had so much
in the
fun.
latest episode, you saw Peter disown Jesus. He said, "Nah, Jesus, I got you." He's like, "You be Jesus." Oh my God, "Nah, Jesus, I got you."
Someone finna betray me, bro.
Nah, bro. Like,
And he
I'm your right of dad, Jesus.
He about to eat with us too. It's one of you at the table.
Whoever drinketh from the cuppeth, or something.
Whoever I dip my bread into and give the bread to, or something like that. And he's like, "Here you go, Judas."
Yeah.
And they're like, "Oh, what's going on here?"
Awkward.
Yeah. And then Jesus like, "Leave from me." And Judas gets up. He's like, or no. Jesus says, "Whatever you're gonna do, just do it." And Judas like, "Peace."
Yeah. That's what he says to Judas later on. Okay.
Jesus did not say the
So
peace.
now that we're recapped, I'm still going to go ahead and.
Yeah, let's
read
recap
this.
even with some more.
So Matthew chapter 26, verse 69. Now Peter was sitting out in the courtyard, and a servant girl came to him. So Jesus is before the Sanhedrin, which is their court of law back in the day. He's on trial. Peter was following close behind while he was arrested. So we're just recapping.
Yeah,
So
recap.
Jesus is in there. He's being tried before the court or whatever, and Peter's outside. So a servant girl comes up to him. Hey, she says, I almost added a word. "You also were with Jesus of Galilee," she said, but he denied it before them all. "I don't know what you're talking about," he said. Then he went out to the gateway where another servant girl saw him. So he moves to another place.
Yeah.
I never really picked up on that. Somebody else said, "This fellow was with Jesus of Nazareth." He denied it again with an oath.
Ooh,
He said,
I don't like oath, but I like oats. You know what I'm saying?
I do like oats. You know, better Quaker oats.
Oh.
So he made him a Quaker oath. I'm just kidding. So this time he's getting serious.
Yeah.
"I don't know the man," he says. After a little while, those standing there went up to Peter and said, "Surely you are one of them. Your accent gives you away."
Ooh.
Yeah, I've just been like, "Hello there." Somebody's like, "I know where you're from." You know.
Yeah. It's like, actually, I'm from, what is it? How y'all doing? I'm from Europe. You know, I don't know Arkansas. I'm from Paris.
Wee, brother.
Wee. Like, he knew. Like,
Yeah.
bro, your accent's giving.
Yeah, they knew.
Yeah.
They knew. So he says, "I don't know the man," and immediately, just as the words are leaving his mouth, immediately a rooster crowed. Then Peter remembered the word Jesus had spoken. Read that last line.
Oh, before
this is what Jesus told Peter.
And then Peter remembered the word of Jesus, who said to him, and this is in red lighting. My bad. Red Riding.
Red Riding.
Yeah. Red Riding.
Red Riding.
This is a red wedding.
The red letter, bro.
There it is. There it is.
Right.
And it says, and I quote,
He quotes.
before the rooster crows,
Mm.
you will deny me 3 times.
He didn't remember until
Yeah.
that moment.
He was
Come
like-
on, Peter? He was all serious. So
So
anyway,
he went out and wept bitterly.
yeah, oh yeah.
Yeah.
He leaves, weeps, but he wept. He
He
wept.
whipped. He swept.
He's a weeper. He's a weeping angel. Little shout out to Doctor Who.
Yeah.
Speaking of Europe,
Yeah.
BBC. All right, we're not sponsored.
No. Verse 27. Will you kick it off for us?
Chapter 27.
Chapter 27. You kick it off for us.
This is gonna be a 3-hour episode. Chapter 27.
Verse 1.
Early in the morning, all the chief priests and the elders of the people made their plans how to have Jesus executed. So they bound him, led him away, and handed him over to Pilate, the governor. When Judas, who had betrayed him, saw that Jesus was condemned, he was seized with remorse and returned the 30 pieces of silver to the chief priest and the elders. Pause. This is where Peter and Judas, up to this point so far, they're kind of reacting the same way.
Yeah.
Judas regrets what he did because he sees what's happening to Jesus. He even gives back this blood money and whatever. I think he throws it back at the priest that paid him.
He does.
And he's like, I don't even want this. He's covered with remorse. So I think there was a compassion. Maybe it was just a compassion for another human being. Or I think he really was at some point close with Jesus.
I was about to say, yeah. I mean, if you're following along with somebody and then you do something to hurt them, I'm sure you're going to be regretting it. And I think that's exactly what he was going through right then. He was regretting it like hard.
Yeah. So he does go on to say, I have sinned, for I have betrayed innocent blood. So obviously he knows he's betrayed not just anybody, but Jesus. He says innocent blood. Jesus is the only one, only human being who is innocent, was sinless. So he's always, he knows who he's talking about. So I really do think that he at one point considered Jesus a friend and they were close. But what happened. So what is that to us? They replied. So he's throwing this money in front of the chief priest. That's your responsibility. Obviously they don't care. They don't care about Judas. They were just using him.
Yeah.
So Judas threw the money into the temple and left. Then he went away and he hanged himself. The chief priest picked up the coins and said, it is against the law to put this money into the treasury since it is blood money. So they decided, this is all prophecy, by the way. So they decided to use the money to buy the potter's field as a burial place for foreigners. That is why it has been called the field of blood to this day. Then what was spoken by Jeremiah the prophet was fulfilled. Yeah, so here we go. This is from Jeremiah. They took the 30 pieces of silver, the price set on him by the people of Israel, and they used them to buy the potter's field as the Lord commanded me. This is going to be in.
It's kind of very specific.
It's in Zechariah as well, according to my footnotes. So it'll be in Zechariah 11, 12, and 13, and then Jeremiah 19, 1 through 13, and then chapter 32, 6 through 9. That's where it's talking about this. So, yeah. So then we have Jesus standing before Pilate, if you want to pick up on verse 11.
Yeah, verse 11. Now Jesus stood before the governor, and the governor asked him, saying, are you the king of the Jews? And Jesus said to him, it is as you say. He said, it is what it is. Verse 12. And while he was being accused by the chief priest and the elders, he answered nothing. Verse 13. Then Pilate said to him, do you not hear how many things they testify against you? Verse 14. But he answered him, not one word. So that the governor marveled greatly. Taking the place of Barbarius. Or what is it? Yeah. Verse 15. Now at the feast of the governor was accustomed to releasing to the multitude one prisoner whom they wished. So they'd release at least just one prisoner.
Yeah.
So
no reason.
Just no reason. Hey, I guess. Y'all voted on him.
Yeah. It was part of their
Rituals.
They're rituals they come up with.
That
at
was
some
just
point.
crazy rituals.
Yeah. Religion. It
Uh,
does weird things, brother.
oh yeah.
I mean, you can read the Bible. There's sacrificing babies and
Oh, there's so many religions or practices they come up with. Just
worshiping a golden calf. Praise the golden calf. That's so weird.
today it's called McDonald's, brother.
Oh, kind of tested my spirit a little bit there, son. I had Burger King on the way in from work earlier.
Well, looks like you're not praising the golden calf.
Good.
Hey, we can't be praising the golden calf. And whether that golden calf be the phone,
Yeah, could be
Or-
any idol.
yeah.
Anything that becomes an idol, yeah. Because the enemy doesn't work in ways where he says, worship this refrigerator, you know.
Yeah, he's not like very blunt. I mean, he's a little blunt about it.
The refrigerator has devil horns,
Yeah.
No, it's not like that at all.
He doesn't make it, kind of creeps in on you.
He does.
Yeah.
You start spending more, especially the phone. That's a good. You start spending more time on Facebook or
Mhm.
whatever.
Instagram, and it becomes
Instagram. Yeah, you become so like just
attached, and you don't want to.
distracted by your own image. Yeah.
That's a good way to put it. Yeah.
Yeah.
Thank y'all for tuning in to the podcast on your phone.
If you're listening on your phone, great.
Thank you.
Just bless that
But
phone.
yeah, for sure, you got to spend time with Jesus in whichever way that is.
And what that looks like, it's not even necessarily what we're doing. This is not what we do in place of our alone time with Jesus. We
Yeah.
have to have our own. This is just something extra. Not that we're like, oh, what are you doing? You know,
Yeah.
look at all this we're doing. No,
No, it's,
I mean, you know, for me, I mean, yeah, you just have to have your own quiet time where you kind of
you personally,
yes,
not you and the congregation of your church,
yeah,
which is, I mean, that's great that you're doing that, but
yeah,
it also calls for you to be, in a relationship with him,
yeah,
by
Sure.
by yourself and,
Yeah.
and with your family,
yeah, definitely.
You got a
And so
family,
if,
you just keep
if
them-
you're married, or you got a girlfriend. No, I mean,
Stop.
even before then, if you're married, have a devotion time with your husband or wife, so. But anyways, just some kind of personal time.
Yeah,
This isn't our
this isn't our personal time. We're just
yeah.
two dudes.
Couple of what did we say earlier? Man, I don't know. I forget. Couple of dudes just hanging out.
Yep. Well, now we got that out the way. Verse 15. Now at the feast, the governor was accustomed to releasing to the multitude one prisoner whom they wished. How did we get to that for? Verse 16. And at that time, they had a notorious prisoner called Barabbas.
Barabbas. I want to tell you something really significantly cool about his name here in a minute.
Okay. Here in a minute, you're about to hear something amazing that you never thought in your
that's pretty cool,
lifetime.
I heard. But yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, I'm excited to hear it too.
Me too.
You already know, brother.
It's still good, though.
Hey, if it's good, it's pleasing to hear, man. I'm excited. Hey, I'll tell you what. Therefore, when they had gathered together, Pilate said to them, "Whom do you want me to release to you?" How did you pronounce it again?
Barabbas.
Barabbas. I feel like I've heard it pronounced like differently. Barabbas. Or Jesus, who is called Christ. For he knew that they had handed him over because of envy. Verse 19. While he was sitting on the judgment seat, his wife sent to him, saying, "Have nothing to do with that just man. Have nothing to do with that just man.
Mm.
For I have suffered many things today in a dream because of him." Verse 20. But the chief priests and elders persuaded the multitudes that they should ask for Barabbas and destroy Jesus. Verse 21. The governor answered and said to them, "Which of the two do you want me to release to you?" They said, "Barabbas." Pilate said to them, "What then shall I do with Jesus, who is called Christ?" They all said to him, "Let him be crucified." Then the governor said, "Why? What evil has he done?" But they cried all out, all the more saying, let him be crucified.
You know what that sounds like today?
Cancel
I
culture.
don't even. Yeah. Basically, I was like, I don't even know if I should say this, but you're just your average.
Yeah, just
culture. If you're wrong, just scream louder.
Yeah, just
get louder, you know.
Yeah, get louder till it's correct, right? My facts are true. I don't care what you say.
Yeah, my false opinions are correct. All right.
Yeah.
You're gonna like it.
If you disagree, I'll just scream louder until you accept it.
That's why you get a crowd of people, you know.
Yeah.
Strength in numbers. So I want to go back to Barabbas' name. So the word bar can actually mean son of. So you see like I'm trying to think of somebody like Bar. Anytime you see the name Bar and then someone's name, it means son of. And so, of course, the word Abba means father. So Bar Abbas or Abbas, son of the father.
Shut up.
And who's the son of the father? Jesus is, but we are when we're adopted into the family. Who did Jesus die for? He died for Barabbas. We are Barabbas.
And people say that things just happen.
Right.
That's crazy.
I mean, it's not even wordplay. Like Bar means son of, and of course Abba means father. So son of the father. He died for the son of the father. Died for us.
Yeah.
That's just makes it that much more like deep.
Yeah.
You know, and of course the imagery at play here is just that. Him swapping places. And he's not defending himself right here.
No.
They're like, so Pilate is the governor that comes in. He's asked to come in. He's kind of a third party. He doesn't know what's going on. He just sees this innocent guy brought before him. He's like, what charges have you guys even brought? Yeah. I don't see anything wrong.
And they're just spouting different things just to get him in.
He just wants to please. He just kind of pleases the crowd rather than cause an uprising or riot. He's like, fine, I'll do what you want. Geez. So he kind of gets a little pushed around. So Pilate's not exactly innocent here.
No.
Even though he does the little washes his hands or whatever.
Washes his hands like, oh, this is because I'm going to be innocent. It's all you guys fault, even though you're the one who says it.
Even his wife. I mean, his wife is like,
this is the one who told me in the dreams. Yeah. I mean, she was having dreams about this beforehand. I mean, that's what she said.
Yeah. And dreams are just seen more as visions, at this point. So, anyways. I thought that was pretty cool.
That is pretty sweet. Verse 24. When Pilate saw that he could not prevail at all, this is what we were just talking about. But rather that a tumult. What do you think that's tumult?
Mine says uproar.
Uproar. Yeah.
Where is it?
It's the old New King James Version. Whoa. Rather than uproar was rising. He took water and washed his hands before the multitude, saying, I am innocent of the blood of this just person. You see to it. So how can you be innocent and then go, y'all go ahead, do it? There's a law that says if you are part of a crime, that you are guilty by association. So with that being said, do you think Pilate was guilty by the association?
Oh, he had the power to stop it, but he didn't.
He didn't say, no, this is a just guy. I haven't heard any fair answers. Yeah. Take him off the cross. This isn't right. Or take him out of here. Yeah. No, he washed his hands, and said, y'all just do it to it. Continuing on. Verse 25. And all the people answered and said, his blood be on us and our children. Then he
they're just like, all right, whatever. Let's do this. They're just like rabid at this point.
Blood hungry.
Are we seeing that today though?
Oh, I mean, for sure.
Just with this whole, and let's segue for just a second. Just with this whole Roe v. Wade thing going on right now.
Yeah.
So this is what I wanted to segue into. So speaking of the website, I've started a blog section on there and I wrote a post on there if y'all want to go check it out. Basically, I just talk about how as Christians, we can no longer sit in this passive, let the world do what it's going to do role. because the world is coming after your faith. The world is coming after our faith.
Oh, for sure.
And so we have to, as instructed by the Bible, I mean, 2 Timothy 3:14 and 15.
Reading the chapters right at you.
I mean, it's been my favorite verse here lately because it literally just says we have to have, when somebody asks you about your faith, you have to have a defense ready.
Mm-hmm.
Have a defense ready for the reason for your faith. So why do you believe what you believe? Why did all this stuff happen to you, yet you're still a Christian or whatever the case may be? Because the best thing we can do is just live as that example. But anyways, before I get off on that tangent, like I said, you see the coexist stickers, like that's out the window. Like it doesn't make sense anymore.
It doesn't. Yeah.
It's contradicting. But anyways, even more so than that, the world is not happy with you being a Christian anymore. They don't want to see your family values. Oh, marriage is between a man and a man and a woman. The family aspect. Like they're coming after it.
Yeah,
it's
they are.
Warfare,
it's bad too.
Yeah.
I mean, it's become no longer quiet. It's more aggressive. It's in your face today.
Yeah.
We were just talking about that the other day with Disney and a couple other things. That like. The agenda is no longer just, we'll put a little thing here, a little thing there, and they won't even notice. Now it's like up in your face, just smack dab. And you're like, what do you tell your kids?
Right.
The kids that are before us, are we going to tell them, oh, it's just another TV? And then it becomes more accepting and more accepting.
Yeah.
And then at what point do we say no, I think we should start saying, no, we're not going to have this, affecting our values early on. That way it doesn't continue on and continue on.
Yeah, I see what you're saying. So we need to know what your standards are before you go forward.
Oh, for sure.
Then you know what to do in those situations, how to react so basically prepare before the battle. Nobody in a war waits till the war gets there and says, oh, we need guns, we need shields, we need this. It's like, it's too late.
Yeah, that's did we talk about this? A tornado. Like if a tornado is coming at you,
you got the you got the warning signs, you got the siren going off,
Yeah, there's so many things that is giving you an idea of what's coming.
Yeah.
Don't be that person.
That was really good. Yeah.
Don't be that person just chilling in their lawn chair going, all right, here it is.
Yeah, it starts hailing, you're like, I better get to shelter. Like, no, by then
it's already there.
Yeah. Wait for a cow flying by, like, I should probably get to.
I think I should probably get my storm shelter at this point.
Let me go get the key to open the padlock.
Yeah, there was no preparation.
Yeah, by then you're
done. As Christians,
not enough to buy the shelter. You got to get to it.
Yeah.
Respect the warning signs.
Respect the warning.
That's a good one, though. That's good.
Yeah.
So just know what you believe. I mean, back up, even if you're not a Christian and you're watching this. I mean, you still have to have that answer for why we're all even here. I mean,
what do you believe in?
Yeah. Maybe you don't care, but you should. So, anyways, I think where were we at?
So towards verse 26, then he released Barabbas to them. Barabbas. My goodness. And when he scourged Jesus, he delivered him to be crucified. You want to pick up on 27?
Yeah. Then the governor's soldiers took Jesus into the praetorium and gathered the whole company of soldiers around him. They stripped him and put a scarlet robe on him, and then twisted together a crown of thorns and set it on his head. They put a staff in his right hand. Then they knelt in front of him and mocked him. Hail, King of the Jews, they said. They spit on him. They took the staff and struck him on the head again and again. And they had mocked him. After they had mocked him, they took off the robe and put his own clothes on him. Then they led him away to crucify him. When we think of, this process of crucifixion is an entire process of trying not to react to the people coming in the room. Sorry. It's a whole process of, it's not just the act of putting someone on a cross.
No.
There's the flogging, the beating, and it was a certain amount of times they would strike somebody or whip somebody.
just
They would
enough to where they wouldn't die, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah.
Well, I mean, it doesn't sound like they were literally pulling any punches here. I mean, they're striking him on the head.
Yeah.
A lot of people would die before they ever got to the cross. I think they would still hang them, but they're
kind of like a public display of
exactly.
He did this. This is what we're doing to. Yeah.
That's exactly what it is too. It's a public humiliation.
Humiliation. Yeah.
So that's a Hebrew word. It's hard to say.
Oh, is it?
It might be. I don't know.
I feel like I say that about everything.
Humiliation. Yeah. There's a lot of Hebrew and Greek like embedded in our
English language. Yeah.
Was I telling you about the word pneuma?
No.
It means air or breath.
I wish I had known that.
Well, now you knew.
Now I knew.
Well, so like
the
air tools are called pneumatic.
Oh yeah,
yeah,
pneumatic.
So I thought that was pretty cool.
Yeah.
So, anyways, Greek and stuff. So
you need to know a little bit that way you can understand some of this stuff.
Dude, it really makes the word like
pop out more.
Pop.
Yeah.
I mean, you just go. You get yourself a Strong's Book of Concordance. So this guy, something strong, puts together this basically book where you could go and just reference the Bible, and if you want to look at a certain word, it's not literally every single word, not like and or whatever. Yeah. But you can go and maybe just look up the word. I mean, I don't know.
How about the word tumlet that I saw earlier? Maybe. In verse 24, yeah.
But it definitely increases your word study. It's really cool. Just like the name Barabbas. Like you wouldn't really just think of that. It's something I learned at my Bible study.
Yeah.
With those guys. So
it's pretty cool.
It's really interesting stuff.
It gives you a better understanding as well.
Or you can download the app, Blue Letter Bible. It sounds like a commercial. We're not sponsored by Blue Letter.
No, we're not sponsored by anybody.
But it's really cool. Blue Letter Bible. Anyways, you can do the same thing on there. You can tap on the words that are highlighted and it'll give you like.
I might have to download that later.
Yeah. I'll show it to you. Anyways.
It's not a commercial. I promise.
1-800-BlueLetterBible.com. Go to the grapevine88.com.
Yeah, the grapevine88.com. We've been advertising all these people but ourselves.
So true. Oh my gosh. Yeah. So
hit us up on the
talk about Facebook, YouTube, Spotify. Now we have a website.
Now we got a website. This is amazing.
It's pretty cool.
We're kind of advancing. This is good stuff, man. Keep on bringing that word, and we hope to share it with you.
Coming after you, Tesla. No, just kidding. Elon.
Tesla stocks dropped 5% ever since the grapevine.
The grapevine's breaking through. Anyways, so they lead Jesus off to be crucified. As they were going out, they met a man from Cyrene named Simon. They forced him to carry the cross. They came to a place called Golgotha, which means the place of the skull. So Golgotha Hill is the hill where Jesus was crucified on.
Crucified Jesus.
So that's a word study right there, but it literally just says that in here. Golgotha, which means the place of the skull. There they offered Jesus wine to drink mixed with gall, but after tasting it, he refused to drink it. So it was sour. You know, at this point, I'm sure he's like super thirsty.
So I got a note about the sour wine. I'm just going to share it real quick.
Yeah.
So this mixture was probably intended to dull the pain of crucifixion or hasten death. And Jesus refused to drink it.
Wow.
So he was determined. I mean, he was suffering agony.
I feel like that's people try to discredit the crucifixion all the time. Like, oh, he actually died before he ever got there or whatever. They try to come up with these things.
Yeah.
Just the whole, if any part of it was lesser than what it was, then it wouldn't have the impact that it did.
No, and
just that, just like you were saying right there, that just goes to show that Jesus was,
he had a full intent.
Yeah.
That he was going to go all the way through with it and he wasn't going to stop, make it an easier way out. I mean, Jesus, he went through it.
Yeah.
And they offered him sour wine, which was to make the crucifixion easier, a little less painful.
Right. Yeah.
Hey, Jesus said, "Nah, this ain't about it, cuh.
Yeah.
I'm taking it full force."
Yeah.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's awesome. Well, it's not wasn't awesome for Jesus, but
no,
he knew.
But it's awesome to
Christ-
know that, you know,
he was willing to do all of that
Yeah,
and then
do it.
some. I mean,
yeah,
the
and
crucifixion
this is
process,
some
it
of
would have
it,
been
yeah.
terrible even if he did take the
wine, yeah.
or whatever you would call it. But he wanted to do that much more and let us know that I'm doing this for you guys
And
I'm
suffer the
taking
full
on
agony.
yeah,
just for us.
the full agony. That's
Mhm.
the perfect way to put it. Let's see here.
I believe you were at 34. They gave him sour wine,
Yeah, and he refused to drink it.
but yeah.
When they had crucified him, they divided up his clothes by casting lots. So casting lots, they're basically drawing. The way I understand it is kind of like drawing to see who gets what. They're
Mhm.
basically bargaining over his clothes right in front of him, always on the cross.
Oh my goodness.
And so
I want the Gucci pants.
yeah, give me his belt, his Gucci belt.
This is terrible. But I mean, they were just trying to.
Well, it's just because they knew. I mean, they're sitting there thinking of themselves.
Yeah.
Obviously, they don't realize what's going on.
No.
That he's sacrificing himself for them, for the very people that are bargaining and gambling over his clothes right in front of him as he's dying.
Yeah, that he's doing it for them.
But those people
And
knew that
yeah.
those clothes would probably be worth a little bit of money just because
Mhm.
it was on this guy who's famous, you know, or
Yeah.
whatever, who's being followed. That's all they were. That's all that Jesus was to them.
Mhm.
So verse 36, and sitting down, they kept watch over him there.
Oh, hold on. Towards the end of it talks about there was on verse 35, and my Bible it says that it might be fulfilled, which was spoken by the prophet.
Yeah.
So,
yeah, all of this is prophesied.
Yeah,
like hundreds of years before.
And it's crazy to think that. But they were very specific too. Like earlier, we were talking about buying that part of land.
Yeah.
What was
the
it?
Field of Blood or something?
Potter's Field. And it says, you know, they bought them with the Potter's Field. And then later on in prophecy, it says that the value of the 30 pieces of silver gave them for the Potter's Field. I mean, these prophecies are very specific, and they're being played out in order just about.
Yeah.
And in every word too. So we can't forget that, you know, these prophecies are coming true.
Yeah. Okay, so
I'm sorry, I didn't mean to stop you.
Oh no, you're good. That's awesome. So and above his head they placed the written charge against him. This is Jesus, the King of the Jews. 2 rebels were crucified with him, one on his right and one on his left. Those who passed by hurled insults at him, shaking their heads and saying, You who are going to destroy the temple and build it in 3 days, save yourself. So Jesus had previously said before that this temple you guys are all uppity about, I'm going to tear it down in 3 days and rebuild it. Of course, they're like, that's impossible. What? And what he meant was by the time he's resurrected, he's rebuilt the kingdom of God everywhere. You know, it's not a physical place.
Mm-hmm.
And so people remember this and they're like, oh, come down off the cross.
Continuing on. Yeah.
Yeah. Come down from the cross if you are the Son of God. Because that's what we would do. We would, I mean, that power would go to our head.
Blasphemy.
Yeah.
If you're truly the Son of God, just come on down from that cross.
Yeah. Yeah. That's the way Satan tempted him. I mean, the first time, as soon as he's filled with the Holy Spirit, he goes out in the wilderness to be tempted. That starts his ministry. I mean, he starts off by being tempted like the same things that tempt us every day.
Mm-hmm.
And, you know, we don't always say no, but Jesus did. So anyway, they're like, so in the same way, the chief priest, the teachers of the law, ironically, it doesn't say that in the Bible. I added ironically.
Yeah.
And the elders mocked him. He saved others, they said, but he can't save himself. He's the King of Israel. Let him come down now from the cross and we will believe in him. I mean, that's just...
We're always asking, I want to see it for myself. Come on down. I believe it.
Yeah.
I believe it. Honestly, in my opinion, if you are saying that, even if Jesus did come down from the cross when that guy said it, or when the multitude said it, I feel like they still wouldn't have had that belief. No.
Yeah. If your belief system is based on seeing, like seeing is believing kind of deal, then you're always going to look for that next thing.
Yeah.
You're going to want more.
Well,
oh,
if
God,
you
I
do
need you
that-
to turn the earth the other direction. You know,
Yeah.
make tilt the axis or whatever.
Axis, yeah.
Axis, yeah.
And then all of a sudden it's like,
We're waiting for these giant signs. I'm like, why isn't creation enough?
oh, for sure.
You know,
Yeah.
you start watching these, I don't know, rainforest channels or whatever. I mean, just on our very own bodies
Yeah.
are the most meticulous machines
I saw this. What was it?
of anything.
I don't know. It might have been on Facebook. I heard we might have talked about it, but this it was a comedian. He said that this doctor comes to God and says, well, science has proven that we can make things live too. You know, I
Yeah,
can.
I never
Did you
watched
talk? Did you watch this? He
I've,
goes.
I've heard it before. I
He
never
goes.
watched
I
it.
can make things alive too. God, we don't need you. And God goes, okay, show me. And the scientist takes the dirt, and God goes, no, I created that. Goes,
Yeah, it says use your own dirt.
yeah, use your own dirt.
It's like, oh,
oh yeah,
yeah, like, get out of here with that. You know, come on, that's good. It's like use your own dirt. You're like, never mind.
give me a minute.
I mean,
There's no answer to that. I mean,
yeah,
you can't.
we can create physical things that kind of replicate
Mhm.
human life, but
But
it's
we
not going to
use
have that
something that
spiritual-
already existed.
Yeah,
It's-
it's just that, a replica, a
Mhm.
copy. So I mean, people got all weird about, you know, when we talk about cloning and stuff.
Oh,
And
yeah.
it is weird. You
It
know,
is,
we're trying
yeah.
to play God.
Yeah,
We're
and
trying-
only God,
can be God.
according to Psalms 31. Nope, my bad. Romans 10:30. Nope, that's not it either. Job 1:21.
Somewhere in the Bible.
No, I got it right here. Job 1:21. God's the giver of life.
Mm.
He gives and he takes away.
Boom.
So, yeah,
He has the right to,
he does.
you know.
That's his creation.
Yeah. Not that God is cruel. It's just like we
No.
talked about in the episode that we have about evil. It's like, why doesn't God do something about evil?
Mm-hmm.
I mean, like,
Evil's the
He
lack
did.
of. Yeah,
he did.
he judged.
Yeah.
But
I mean,
not
in
only
the Old
that, but he
Testament,
loves too.
in the
Yeah.
Old Testament, people want to get all uppity about when he did do something about
Mhm.
evil. When he
Yeah.
When he wipes out-
What's that episode?
yeah, and it's like,
I want God to judge this sinner or this person who
Yeah.
killed. I want him to judge it. And then all of a sudden, you know, he does it, and all of a sudden, well, why would God do that if he's not a loving God?
yeah, isn't God supposed
What?
to be all lovey and yeah? So just
So you want him to judge and you want him to love at the same time.
yeah,
Or you want him to love more than you want him to judge.
yeah.
But it's kind of like an equal plane, you know. He's
Yeah.
gonna love and judge. Yeah.
Something that Frank Turek says all the time is, you know, if God did judge for our sin, you know, or we ask God, you know, judge this world for its sin. Well, what if he starts with you? What if he starts with
Yeah.
you? You know,
Yeah.
we're all sinners.
We're all sinners. So I mean,
No one sin. So there's, as far as sin goes, it separates you from God.
mhm.
So in that aspect, there's
All sin's
no, all sin is the same.
Yeah.
Now, obviously, murder's worse than, you know, we can start pulling threads, but
We think.
but
Yeah.
it's not going to get you any less. I don't want to say this. Any more or less into heaven or hell. I guess I'll put
Right.
it that way.
Yeah.
The only way. This is why I love this, because the only way to the Father is through Jesus.
Yeah.
The only
through
way
the
to
Son.
heaven,
Absolutely.
yeah, it's through the Son. So I think it just makes it simple. It's not
Yeah.
like, well, did I carry the two, like long division or something?
Yeah.
You know, like, do I deduct this ratio or something?
Like
you know.
we try to make it be some outrageous
We
thing.
want it to be complicated for some reason.
Yeah, we're like, oh, you can't wear your hat in church. You gotta.
Yeah, brother,
Make
I'm
sure
gonna need
to-
you to tuck in that shirt, son.
If you want to make it to heaven now, what?
Not my heaven, you know.
No,
heaven
yeah.
ain't a lot like Dixie, you know.
I think we put so many boundaries to love Jesus, and
Yeah,
we forget how simple it
we put
is.
those barriers on there. Yeah.
Yeah, like, oh, you want to be a Christian? Well, let's make sure that you
Well, let's make sure we go over the
Yeah,
list.
Got to
what
wear
it takes
white
to do
New Balances. You gotta make sure your bow ties on the left side and not crooked on the right side.
Men aren't allowed to
Yeah.
have their hair long and stuff. Women
They're-
aren't allowed to cut their hair. It's all in there.
Yeah, there's so many
Jeez.
restrictions and rules we put on there, but
Yeah.
Christ. I mean, he said if you want to want to get to him, you got to go through the Father.
Yep.
So continuing on. You have such a great memory. I can't remember where we was at.
I think we're on 43. Yes. I'll back up a little bit. Let him come down now from the cross and we will believe in him.
We just talked about that, yeah.
Yeah, he trusts in God. Let God, then this is all mockery too.
No, it's just
let God
blasphemy,
rescue him now if he wants him. For he said, I am the Son of God. So they're quoting Jesus.
Mhm.
And he's all like, Jesus is over here claiming to be the Son of God. Where's your Father now?
Yeah.
They just think they're so smart. And
It's
they
just a
think
mockery.
they're going to like tempt God into
striking him down or something.
Yeah.
It's
like,
kind of weird.
Save your son, God. What are you doing?
Yeah.
It's ridiculous. So in the same way, the rebels who were crucified with him also heaped insults on him. It says both of them did.
Oh.
The rebels who were crucified with him also heaped insults. From noon until 3 p.m, darkness came over all the land. Oh, wait, you go ahead. Go from 45. Sorry.
45.
I meant to switch.
Now from the 6th hour until the 9th hour, there was darkness over all the land. And about the 9th hour, Jesus cried out with a loud voice, saying, Eliah, Eliah, lama sabachthani.
Let's pause it there.
I got his.
I love this. Mine actually includes that too.
Does it too?
That would be Aramaic.
Aramaic.
So
I might not have said that right.
Either that or that might actually be the Hebrew.
But
so some versions I think actually say Eloi, Eloi. So he's saying, my God, why have you forsaken me?
Yeah, so that's right after that is.
Let me see if it actually says it. Sorry, I want to pause on this for just a second.
Yeah.
Oh, it's telling me where the. Oh yeah, look, some manuscripts actually say Eloi, Eloi. So yeah, it just means my God.
My God, my God.
Yeah. So it's Eli, Eli, lama sabachthani.
Let me get that on a t-shirt. I'll wear it.
A penitent shirt.
Making a metal shirt.
Yeah.
Eloi, Eloi. Dude, that is some crazy stuff. Verse 47, if you don't mind me continuing on.
Go ahead.
Some of those who stood there, when they heard that, said, this man is calling for Elijah. Immediately one of them ran and took a sponge, filled it with sour wine, and put it on a reed and offered it to him to drink. So the guy's like, oh, he's still, suffering.
Yeah, he's been up there all day.
Yeah.
But he's been beaten all day.
Yeah.
He's hung up there for half the day. So mine said from noon until 3 p.m, darkness came over. So he's still hanging there. About 3 p.m, Jesus cried out. So yeah, he's up there till almost into the evening.
Oh my goodness.
Because we're getting up to the part where he does die. So, but yeah, sorry, go ahead.
Verse 49. The rest said, let him alone. Let us see if Elijah will come to save him. And Jesus cried out again with a loud voice and yielded up his spirit. Then, behold, the veil of the temple was torn in two from top to bottom. And the earth quaked and the rocks were split. I want to stop right there real quick. We stopped at 52. From top to bottom, the veil was torn. Brother, I don't know if you know, but they did not have, something to get to the top to tear it.
Yeah, it would have been big, wouldn't it?
Yeah. So if it was man who did it.
Let me get out my extension ladder.
Yeah. So if man had torn the veil, it had to have been from bottom to the top. This is why it's very significant.
Okay.
Yeah. It was torn from the top to the very bottom.
And it tore the whole thing.
Yeah.
It wasn't like halfway or a little bit.
Wasn't like he took a little snippet of scissors. Yeah. No, it was torn from the top to the bottom. So
that's something like that would be hard to repair too. Even if you did, you'd always see that extra.
Yeah.
Anyway, if they even tried, I don't know. But yeah, the whole point being
that it was torn from
this physical veil is torn, but also the spiritual veil is torn.
Oh yeah.
Dude, that's awesome.
Verse 52. And the graves were opened, and many bodies of the saints who had fallen asleep were raised. And coming out of the graves after his resurrection, they went into the holy city and appeared to many. So I have a little note here for that verse 52 and 53. All Although the graves were ruptured at the time of Jesus' death, the saints did not depart from them until after Jesus' resurrection.
So they were chilling for a few days.
Yeah.
Remember me, brother? Hey, I'm back.
Hey, I'm back, baby.
Okay, I wanted to back up a little bit.
Yeah, for sure.
I kind of.
You had a note too?
I didn't realize we read this already, so I just thought of this. I was trying to find where we were just now and reread this. When Jesus had cried out again in a loud voice, he gave up his spirit. So that speaks volumes to me because Jesus was in control the whole time because he's 100% man and 100% God. And we're like, how does that even work? But we know he is because anyone else probably would have died up to this point.
Oh, for sure.
I mean, just the crucifixion alone can kill.
You already got me at the whip, dude.
Yeah.
When they were hitting you in the head.
The amount of blood loss. I mean, how is he even still like lucid at this point?
Yeah.
Which some might argue that he wasn't, but he most certainly was.
He wasn't.
He never deterred from what he was, the vision or the what he was saying tracks with what he said before. So he never lost his mind.
Yeah.
Anyways, I won't even.
And not only that, but we can say that he never lost his mind because he also, like we talked about that sour wine.
Yeah.
He never took that wine in. He never ingested it to make it easier on him. So his mind was still straight and what he was thinking. So it wasn't like he was going to go.
So with this moment, we see though that Jesus was not willing to die or knew he was not going to give himself up until everything was done. And as soon as it was, he's like, it's done.
Yeah. Speaking of it, it's done.
And it's that point when he says, gives up his spirit.
Mm-hmm. So that's really good. I'll continue on then.
Yeah, go ahead.
If you don't mind. 54, I think. Don't
mind at all, brother.
So when the centurion and those with him who
Centurion.
Thank you. So when the
centurion is like it's a Roman guard who's probably, I think, a little more high ranking than just a regular guard.
Okay.
So he's kind of the one in charge.
So when the centurion and those with him who were guarding Jesus saw the earthquake and the things that happened, they feared greatly, saying, truly, this was the Son of God.
Boom!
That's a huge moment.
That's a big boom.
That's a huge boom.
But it's not a big bang.
No. Brother, that was a quake. Triggered. I don't like that word. No. No. I mean, I'd been saying this is the dude. I was messing around the whole time thinking it wasn't. And all of a sudden you're getting earthquakes and all this stuff happening at the crucifixion. No.
This isn't the last time something like this happened either.
No.
To a Roman guard, if I'm not mistaken. What is it? Paul and somebody else in the jail cell? Anyways, we'll get to that point. But
the earthquaking?
Yeah.
Well, continuing on. Verse 55.
Sorry. At this point, he's like, oh, snap. We done messed up. Because he's like, crap, this was the Son of God.
Yeah. I feel like this is one of those little detours where it's like, just like cuts the scene to them and they're like, did you hear that? I think this was the Son of God. This is for sure the guy.
Yeah. They start.
Did we just do that?
Just run off.
Yeah. They just start like, getting flashbacks. When they were like crucifying all the miracles.
Gosh. Yeah. He prophesied this the whole time.
Yeah, he was really.
Why didn't we listen?
Kind of like our boy Peter when the rooster crowed. they're like flashbacks.
Yeah, that's good.
Where am I at? Oh, there it is. Among them who were, my bad. 55, and many women who followed Jesus from Galilee, ministering to him, were there looking on from afar. 56. Among whom were Mary Magdalene, Mary the mother of James and Jose, Joses, the mother of James and.
Oh, look at that little footnote. What is that?
A.
Yeah, Joseph.
Oh, Joseph.
Huh, I've never seen that.
Yeah.
Joseph.
Must have ran out of print.
Run out of ink. That's cool.
And Joseph, yeah.
Another translation of his name, I guess.
It probably is, yeah. And the mother of Zebedee's sons.
The sons of thunder.
Woo! Verse 57. Now, when evening had come, there came a rich man from Arimatha? Aretha? No.
Arimathea, I think.
Arimathea.
Yeah.
Named Joseph. Goodness, I'm not good with my words right now. Who himself had also become a disciple of Jesus. He was a real one. Jesus was making disciples everywhere he went.
Mm-hmm.
This man went to Pilate and asked for the body of Jesus. Then Pilate commanded the body be given to him. 59. When Joseph,
so Pilate kind of comes through a little bit.
He was like, you know
like,
what?
All right, I see what's going on.
Yeah, I felt that earthquake too now, bro. Then Pilate commanded the body of
the body just didn't want anything to do.
No, he just like, man, really just cheaper on the burial, brother.
Just don't forget about me. I gave the body to you.
Yeah.
He's like trying to cover himself.
He's like, I don't want to touch anything. My hands are clean right now.
Yeah.
When Joseph had taken the body, he wrapped it in a clean linen cloth and laid it in his new tomb, which he had hewn out of the rock. And he had rolled a large stone against the door of the tomb and departed.
Wait, where were we at?
We went from 59. 59 to 61. This man, or 58 says, this man went to Pilate and asked for the body of Jesus. Then Pilate commanded the body be given to him. And then 59 through 61 is where I talked about Joseph being taking the body, wrapping Jesus in clean linen cloth, because he knew he was a king. So he was wrapping him.
Recognized.
Yeah, he didn't want his king our king to be set in a grave, just like everybody else. So he set him in a new tomb.
I saw this the Jesus play at the Sight and Sound Theater in Branson.
Yep.
In the part where I thought they portrayed it as John carrying him off the cross. Maybe not. But anyways, he carries him off the cross, and like it's a very impacting play. It's awesome. But I didn't really like cry or anything until Joseph goes, he's carrying his body and he's like, no. And dude, I'm getting chills just thinking about it. Because I think they portrayed it, I thought they portrayed it as John. Because John recognized, and it sounds like this guy does. I mean, Joseph does too. He recognizes who this man was and who he is. And I'm just sitting here thinking about it, dude, how
impactful and amazing it was.
It was intense. He's carrying the lifeless body of
Jesus,
their king, of Jesus. So it was insane. Mm-hmm. It was very good.
The man they followed.
Oh my gosh. I don't want to ruin. Well, maybe I shouldn't ruin the play.
Don't. Maybe.
I'll tell you after.
Okay, yeah, tell me afterwards.
I'll ruin it for you.
Okay, not everybody else. Me, no.
I highly recommend. It doesn't really take away because it's so good.
Verse 62. On the next day, which followed the day of preparation, the chief priest and the Pharisees gathered together to Pilate, saying, "Sir, we remember." Yeah, I'd be like, "Yo, Pilate, look, do you feel that earthquake?"
They're just right back to their crap.
Yeah.
Now that Jesus is out of the way, we can get back to what we were doing.
Yeah.
See?
While he was still alive, how that deceiver, he called Jesus a deceiver, said, "After 3 days I will rise." Therefore commanded that the tomb be made secure until the third day.
They were like, just in case.
You felt that earthquake? Yeah, brother. Just in case.
This guy might be business.
I want to make sure, I just want to make sure this is taken care of. Deceiver said, after the 3 days I will rise. Therefore commanded the tomb be made secure until the third day, lest his disciples come by night and steal him away, and say to the people, he has risen from the dead. So the last deception will be worse than the first. Pilate said to them, "You have a guard, go your way. Make it as secure as you know how." So they went and made the tomb as secure, stealing the stone and setting the guard. My bad, not stealing. Stealing, yeah. Yeah, they just stole the stone.
I wasn't laughing at you. It's just we've almost spent the whole hour on one chapter.
We really
it's a good
have.
chapter, though.
It
It's
is a good
great
chapter. And setting the guard. Verse 28. Well, I mean, not verse, chapter 28.
Chapter
Why don't you finish us up on chapter
Yeah.
28?
So after the Sabbath at dawn on the first day of the week, Mary Magdalene and the other Mary went to look at the tomb. There was a violent earthquake, for an angel of the Lord came down from heaven and, going to the tomb, rolled back the stone and sat on it. His appearance was like lightning, and his clothes were white as snow. The guards were so afraid of him that they shook and became like dead men. So they passed out.
Yeah.
The angel said to the women, "Do not be afraid, for I know that you are looking for Jesus who was crucified. He is not here. He has risen, just as he said. Come and see the place where he lay, then go quickly and tell his disciples, he has risen from the dead and is going ahead of you into Galilee. There you will see him. Now I have told you." So the women hurried away from the tomb, afraid yet filled with joy, because they're still kind of like, they don't know how to process.
They just saw an angel too.
Yeah,
Angels are like in the Bible. They are not like the little stone little creatures you
little
see.
babies.
Then they're like,
yeah.
you
They are terrifying, and we know that because every time we see an angel appear, what's the first thing they say?
Do not be afraid.
Fear not, trembling women.
Yeah.
No, they don't.
They don't say.
But they show up to the shepherds. The shepherds quake. They're always afraid.
They're all yeah.
You know?
Probably because of what they look like.
I think they're terrifying.
Yeah, I imagine so. But yeah, every time
the guards were so afraid. These are big, tough Roman guards.
Yeah, these guys have been to war.
Yeah.
And they're over here. They see an angel. They go
pass out. Yeah. And then the angel says to the women, "Do not be afraid."
That just means our women are strong.
Yeah.
More power to them.
They've seen some stuff.
They have seen some wild stuff. Angels.
Okay, so they go to the disciples. Suddenly, Jesus met them. "Greetings," he said. He's just so nonchalant.
Yeah. What's up, bro?
I just defeated death and everything.
Yeah.
They came to him, clasped his feet, and worshipped him. Then Jesus said to them, "Do not be afraid. Go and tell my brothers to go to Galilee. There they will see me." So Jesus is comforting them in the way.
It's because
I'm sure they're probably still doubting a little bit, because nothing like this has ever happened.
No.
Since then or before then.
Yeah.
He's just like, "I'm really here.
This is me." Yeah.
We said at the same time.
Brother, I feel like we got a connection going.
So,
speaking of being connected, join us and connect with us on thegrapevine88.com.
For real though, what he said. So, verse 11, while the women were on their way, this also, now hear me out.
I'm listening. Brother, if you got something you need to tell me, go ahead and get off your chest.
Well, so women's thoughts and opinions back in this day. I'm going to start by saying this because back in this day,
not today,
their opinions and their testimonies were seen as only half that as a man. They were discounted a little bit. Mm-hmm. You didn't want to listen to a woman's testimony unless another woman was backing it up, pretty much. So it was discounted. Anyways, in that culture.
Right.
So with that being said, I think God using women for the most powerful moment on earth,
it's huge testimony to how
to see him alive again for the first. I guess the powerful moment was defeating death and him coming back, but them being the first to encounter Jesus after he resurrects, that speaks volumes.
Oh yeah,
this is some of the biggest moments in the world.
And he didn't share it with Paul first,
or Peter,
yeah.
But he didn't share it with any of his disciples that had traveled with him all that time. He shared it with the women. And he's had impacts with these women in the past.
Yeah.
So Mary Magdalene, if I'm not saying this wrong, was the one that came to Jesus and cleaned his feet with her hair and dumped out the perfume. Mm-hmm. And she had a past that was basically she was a prostitute. So anyways. So
Jesus would share it with her first. Yeah, that's amazing. So that speaks, like you said, speaks volumes about
it really does.
The character and who Jesus is.
Yeah, I think it's amazing to use them. That also goes to show, so Frank Turek uses this as a point of because a lot of people say, like, oh, this is all made up. If you make up a hero story, you're not going to put these kind of details in there.
No.
So Frank Turek goes over what he calls the embarrassing points. You're not going to put embarrassing things about a heroic story. You're not going to say, oh, the disciples, if they made this up, they would say, oh, we came and we found Jesus and we comforted the trembling women. Like Frank Turek says that all the time. That's how they would write it. But they wrote the truth, and the truth was the women were there first. Anyways, so moving on. While the women were on their way, some of the guards went into the city and reported to the chief priest everything that had happened. When the chief priest had met with the elders and devised a plan, they gave the soldiers a large sum of money, telling them, "You are to say, his disciples came during the night and stole him away while we were asleep."
They're already setting this up.
Yeah, even though they said, "Go seal the tomb,"
go seal the
centurion,
tomb.
or I think said, "Go seal the tomb the best way you know how."
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And all of a sudden, now they're like, "No, whatever you have to say, we're going to try to make people believe that the disciples
did
rolled away this giant tomb." Like,
like it wasn't sealed, and we had guards right beside it.
Yeah, they knew better.
Mm-hmm. They did, and you know what? Continue on, because there's some good stuff. I want to bring it up, if you don't mind me saying that.
Did you want to share it?
Yeah. Keep on. Oh, okay. So, basically, where are we at? What verse are we at?
13.
13. All right, on 13, saying, "Tell them the disciples came at night and stole him away while we slept. And if this comes to the governor's ears, we will appease him and make you secure."
Mm-hmm.
So they took the money and did as instructed. And this saying is commonly reported among the Jews unto this day. So now you've got a religion that believes that, hey, Jesus was stolen in the night.
His body was stolen. Wow.
And it's still believed to this day.
I've never picked up on that before.
Yeah. So I've never picked up on this before till.
So before we continue on, let's back up a little bit and kind of wrap up what was going on here. So these guards come and testify what they'd seen, and they're like, no, we're going to lie about this because that's going to be too impacting. And because these guards also were afraid they were going to be killed.
Oh, yeah.
For not doing their job.
They were supposed to seal it and put the best guards there and watch over at night. I'd have been terrified too. And they're like, that's like a huge mistake.
So, but they may have been killed for telling the truth too, because it was so crazy. So they're like, no, just go with this story. Trust us.
Yeah.
And they paid him off. So,
which I like how they put that in here. That way we can know, hey, when you are going to back up Jewish beliefs, you're like, oh, but biblically it tells us about what happened. Mm-hmm. That the guards were paid to tell the chief priest, hey, all this happened. I swear, Jesus,
Yeah.
It's just crazy. Why don't you continue on verse 16?
Right.
Sorry, I didn't mean to steal your thunder. I just really like that last part.
No, you're good. So verse 16, then the 11 disciples, 11.
Brother, I hate to say this, we lost number
12. They went to Galilee, to the mountain where Jesus had told them to go. When they saw him, they worshipped him, but some doubted. Then Jesus came to them and said, all authority in heaven and on earth has been given to me. Therefore, go and make disciples of all nations, baptizing them in the name of the Father, and of the Son, and of the Holy Spirit, and teaching them to obey everything I have commanded you. And surely I am with you always to the very end of the age.
That's awesome. Amen.
We'll be starting into Mark.
We're going into Mark. Thank you guys so much for joining this episode of Grapevine.
Grapevine. So like we said, if you guys would please, whatever capacity you like to listen to our channel,
share it with others.
We've got Spotify. We've got YouTube.
We've even got.
What was I going to say? YouTube, Spotify. We've got a website.
Mm-hmm. What's that podcast site? You got it on there?
Spotify.
Oh, yeah, we got it on Spotify too.
I said 4 things earlier, though.
You did. Facebook, maybe? We got a Facebook page.
Didn't I start with that?
I think you did.
No. Spotify, YouTube, Facebook. The website.
The website.
There it is.
We got it all
So,
four down.
anyways, yeah. So like, I started saying this earlier, just real quick, and then we got to wrap up. I put a blog on our blog section on our website if y'all want to go check that out. I was talking to Wesley earlier. We're not going to be like Facebook posting on there. That's
No.
why I created its separate thing.
I'm not
It's
going to
gonna
tell you
be-
about my cereal eating habits every morning.
Yeah. If y'all want to check that out, go check out his Facebook.
Today is frosted mini wheat.
Mixed in with some Cocoa Pebbles.
Hey.
But no, go check those out. That's just gonna be stuff that we're both gonna be posting on there and sharing just stuff that's on our minds, on our hearts. Maybe once a week, twice a week, or how often.
Yeah. Just whatever's
Every moment.
feeling
every
led
second.
Yeah. It's like
But
just
no.
updating right now. Come over here.
Yeah, you're literally finishing reading one. Just like, dang. Anyways, thank y'all for listening. We will see you next week.
Yeah. See y'all next week on the Grapevine. Boom.